What's up, Pirate Nation? I'm your host, David Heim, and welcome to a brand new edition of Hall Talk. We have a very special show for you tonight. It's our last show of the year. We're going to break down the women's golf team as they head down to Raleigh, North Carolina to partake in the regional round of the NCAA tournament. And this being our last show, we're going to break down the year in review of Seton Hall Athletics. We'll have all that and more. This is Hall Talk. This team needs to show me something for me to believe that they're going to make a run in the tournament.
I think they can have a chance of going over 35 wins without a problem.
Just stepping up from the 4 points to the 17. She's just dropping threes like there's no tomorrow.
But chemistry is an underrated key in college basketball.
That was by far the best game I've seen them play.
This is Hall Talk, and that's how the chalk talks.
Welcome back, and at this time I'd like to introduce my panel for this evening, and I have the pleasure of bringing on Aaron Ross and George Balekji. Guys, thanks for joining me.
Dave, thanks for having us on. Last episode of the year, all the sports, the full academic year, everything that happened. I feel no better way to wrap it all up than with some yearly awards.
Absolutely.
Couldn't have said it any better. Thanks for having me.
So let's jump right in. We have 5 awards that we're going to give out tonight. Let's start off with the male program of the year, and might be tough, but we got it. Aaron, I'll start with you. Who's your male program of the year?
I mean, we say it's tough. I think that might be a little bit of a joke. I got to go with the men's swimming and diving team. There's really no other way to put it. They're Big East champions. You know, it's not like it's just the seniors, like the upperclassmen going through. You got freshman Zohar Soslovic, he's winning all his events out there. And just as a freshman going through, Ben Mitchell killing it too. Got most outstanding diver at the Big East. So that's number 1 team for me, for the male.
And Ben Mitchell, he brings him up. I mean, that's the name you want to hear diving into the pool because it's back-to-back most outstanding divers.
Yep.
And you look at all the men's programs, and this time of year, we usually talk about baseball. That's what made it so tough about right now. And I like that he brings up all the young guys. Tim Boss and Keith Carlino are 2 names that jump out at me as well. Between the 2 of them, past years, 13 individual honors for all conference happenings. And then you even go to the coaching staff. Pete DeNoble, he got diving coach of the year. This is a program that they may be losing a lot with Gabby Signorelli on the women's side and Ben Mitchell graduating, but they have so much young talent. Zohar Suslovic, I love that you bring him up. And it just shows that the depth that this program has is they're not going anywhere in the conference. Usually you see what the success they've had comes from upperclassmen. That's not the story with swimming and diving.
Well, as you guys both mentioned, it was tough because baseball has been struggling. There was a lot of high hopes for basketball this year that didn't exactly pan out. But that does not take away from what the men's swim and dive team were able to do this year. And just so you know, Ben Mitchell, awesome job last year in his junior year, but an even better job in his senior year to close out what was a very nice career at Seton Hall.
And I like to say for Ben Mitchell and Gabby Signorelli, they were the only 2 individuals from the Big East to represent at the NCAA Zone A competitions.
Let's jump on the women's side. Women's program of the year. George, I'll start with you.
For me, this was tough because you have softball finally making the tournament. You have women's basketball making it back to the big dance. Everyone knows what they accomplished this season long. And also women's golf repeating as Big East champs. But I'm going to go back to a team that was making it happen in the fall. And for me, that's women's volleyball. Led by Shelby and Stacey Manthorpe and Tessa Fournier as well. This team, they doubled what they had in conference victories last season. They had the most conference victories in program history, and the first time they went dancing. And they went up against a very tough BYU team as well. For a first-round exit, it's not what these girls like. And what I loved about them the most is when you look at it with Shelby Manthorpe, everything she was leaving behind, she competed in all 132 sets this season. She's the first Pirate to really make it happen in the record books.
Yeah, now, exactly like you say, I wanted to go with volleyball, making the tournament, and like you say, the Manthorpes, they really were the backbone of the team, but I have to give it to the women's golf team. They're just finally getting through a full 4 years of having 4 seniors on the team getting with the program, and they won back-to-back Big East titles, making the NCAA tournament back-to-back years. That's phenomenal in my eyes. I love the women's volleyball team. I want to give them a shout-out too, but women's golf has it for me. And just the way they did it, it was an all-around team effort, just like with the men's swimming and diving team. You got the freshman, Cassie Pintalis, being a little bit of an anchor under the team. And you got Allie Cruz, just consistency, staying in the 70s, getting them great scores. And even other players, getting little chip-ins to get pars to save them for wins. It's just, that's the team.
Aaron, you talk about women's golf. Women's golf teed off today with Wichita State and Fairleigh Dickinson in the regional round of the NCAA tournament. They are currently 11 over and tied for 11th in that regional round. So you say volleyball, you say golf.
I think I could guess who you're going to say.
I have to break the tie, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm going to go basketball. Women's basketball, they're my program of the year on the women's side. They had just a phenomenal year. What Tony Bazzel's been able to do in 2 years here has been astounding. And yes, volleyball and women's golf were outstanding this year for their respective programs. But first NCAA tournament appearance, unbelievable job for the women's basketball team, so I'll go with them. Moving on, the male athlete of the year. George, I'll start with you. I think this one's kind of easy, right?
Well, you could say it's kind of easy. You got a lot of options to look at. You could look at what Shane McCarthy accomplished just as a freshman. You could look at what Ben Mitchell did as a senior.
Exactly.
For me, I'm going to stay young, and I'm going to go with the big man everyone fell in love with. And I think the one play you remember about him is when he got hit in the face, basketball home game when we upset Villanova. This guy had to fight off the trainers, the coaches, the team managers, fans from the stands, the security at the Prudential Center, even Pat Lyons, because he wanted to stay on the court and play in this game. Angel Delgado was such a force to be reckoned with in the paint. And he brought home Big East Rookie of the Year, rightfully so. This kid was such a big factor defensively to this team, and he's nowhere near close to his potential. In his body, his offensive game as well. He's complete as a defender. He's what you want, and he's come such a long way from when he began here. Angel Delgado, by far, has to be my athlete of the year.
Aaron, real
I
quick.
couldn't disagree. Angel Delgado is my male athlete of the year. I don't care for the fact that he's a freshman. We got a rookie of the year, but no. Isaiah Whitehead is the one who we were talking about at the beginning of the year. He was projected as Big East Rookie of the Year, and Angel Delgado took that from him, averaging just about a double-double. And now, think of this. You got Jahlil Okafor on Duke, freshman, probably projected to be #1 pick in the draft. For the majority of this season, 3/4 of the way through, Angel Delgado was tied or right with him for most double-doubles for a freshman. If that doesn't speak for it, I don't know what does. Angel Delgado was an absolute animal down there. As a young guy, 18, 19 years old, and he's going up against seniors in college, but he's just battling down there.
And he led all Division I freshmen with 9.8 rebounds per game. That was 22nd best in the nation. And his 3.6 of those boards coming on the offensive side is 13th best. And you bring up how Isaiah got preseason Rookie of the Year. That shows the depth that this team has when you look forward to next season. They have a preseason Rookie of the Year. They have the actual Rookie of the Year. This was a title everyone knew he was going to walk away with. For Angel, he's going to be one of the best Pirates. If he stays 4 years in South Orange, one of the best Pirates to ever wear that uniform.
One more thing I want to talk about with Angel.
You can't stop with this.
The DePaul game at home, we may have lost the game. It's a game we should have won. You don't like to get swept by DePaul. Angel Delgado had 19 points, 19 rebounds in that game. So just to see, we were getting beaten in that second half.
That's a good point.
No one was playing hard at all. The heart that Angel Delgado has, you see the emotions he puts on the court. No one has any heart like him on any other team.
And one more, his game-winning shot against Creighton. It's a whole different season down the road if he doesn't hit that.
Exactly that.
Let's jump over real quick on we took up all our time with Angel, female athlete of the year.
This one, I want to go with one of the Manthorpes, specifically Shelby, but I'm going with Khadijah Simmons of the women's basketball team. She is the absolute heart and soul of the women's basketball team. We want to give that to Tony Bazzell as being the backbone, heart and soul. He's got a lot of passion, but on the court, Khadijah Simmons, averaging 17 points a game, getting assists. She can dish it, she can score, and she played and started all 34 games this year.
That's what I like. She has a durability when you bring up Dee Dee and everything she's accomplished. She went to high school right down the road in Newark, and she brought in with her team her old teammate, Daisha, she had a long relationship with. And Dee Dee's been here from the beginning to the end, along with Janae. They've seen the worst of the worst, the best of the best, leads the program in assists, leads them in free throws. For my female athlete, I'm going to say Allie Cruz, and I'm going to say this because third straight year, she leads the team with the lowest stroke average. And you also go on top of that, in the 10 tournaments this year, 4 times she's placed top 10 or better. This girl, she really understands what it goes through. And the records that she holds is, obviously she's been here since the beginning of the program, it makes sense, but she wrote the record book herself. I'm looking for Cass Ventalis to rewrite it.
Definitely.
But Allie Cruz, she put the stone in for who owns the record book.
She set the tone for the team.
All right, I like it. Coach of the year.
This one, I think we can all agree on this one. It's got to be Tony Bazzella. You watch him out there, he's a player's coach. They all bought into the system. He's only been here 2 years, and what he has turned that team around, they may have lost in the NIT his first season in the Sweet 16, double overtime thriller. Now you look at this season, they won an absolute tear, went to the final of the Big East tournament, and then made it to the NCAA tournament and lost in Connecticut to Rutgers. It's a tough game with the potential to play UConn, who ends up being the best team.
And what he did with that team is there's no Sydney Cook, who he expected to have. She decided to transfer. But Shrey Ali left the team for reasons off of the court. Ace Brown, same thing. So he had a lot of depth coming in and couldn't make it happen. But I'm going to go with Sarah Dole. She was recognized as the best coach in the conference by the conference, back-to-back Big East. And to me, what her and Tony do, they kind of mirror each other. They're there from the beginning of the program, bring it to the end. And she started this in 2010. This team, in the first time they appeared in the Big East tournament, was 172 strokes over par as a team. And
That's rough.
And now they're winning it. You see what she did, the recruiting she brings in, what she's done with Ali Cruz, Cassie Mentalis, Erin McClure. I think Sarah Dole, she gets my Coach of the Year.
Yeah. You see where the teams start and you see where they finish, and it is astounding
For
what
both
they've
of
done.
them.
Both.
Male Rookie of the Year.
Male Rookie of the Year. I would love to give it to Delgado again, but I need to give something else. I got to give it to a baseball
the
player,
love.
Shane McCarthy.
Okay.
He's got a 2.19 ERA, best starting pitcher on the team right now as a freshman, which no one expects that. You expect the seniors, the juniors to have the leadership and the experience to come in and show them what's up. And Shane McCarthy just came in, pitched outstanding baseball. Unfortunately, he's got a 4-4 record. He's not getting the run support. The team's a little off this year, but it's got to go to him.
That's been the conversation all season long. I
Yep.
agree with you there, Aaron. Is that Shane McCarthy, he's been a stud, especially when he saw Josh Prabo leaving.
Yeah.
We're looking for Luke Cahill to stand up on the mound and really take his spot. And everyone knows how his season resulted. And Shane McCarthy, really big gut check for the freshman. For me, I'm going to stick with Angel. I think he's a kid that just gets it, he understands it, and he's a player that when a team approaches him, you have to change your whole offensive mindset. You have to really think about what you're going to do in the paint. This kid, when he goes into the gym this offseason, there's 3 things I want him to do, and I think he will be beyond great. He'll fix his free throws.
Right.
He'll hit the weight room, put some meat on those bones. He's a little scrawny, a little long, but he can really make something happen there and really fix his offensive game altogether, because that will be a complete player for the Pirates, and he will be a cornerstone for a foundation of what they need to do moving forward with this team.
Female Rookie of the Year.
I like to talk about, we've mentioned the golf team, but I think we need to share the wealth a little bit more. Like we said, we got to go to the softball team side. Alex Walkden,
Right? Yeah.
20 home runs this year as a freshman, breaking the single-season softball record. That's incredible. All right, Cassie Mentalis, she's a great player, but it's got to go to Alex Walkden. She's also 50 RBIs and a slugging percentage of .857.
Yeah.
Come on.
That girl is a beast from Texas.
Yeah.
I mean, it's either something in the waters in Texas or Paige Smith knew what she was doing with
She's
Alex
proven
when she
everything's
brought her
bigger in Texas.
Exactly. But with Cassie, I'm going to go with her because the role she stepped in was to replace Hannah Basilone.
Yeah.
This team last year, Big
She's
East
certainly
champs.
done that.
Hannah Basilone had an 80-stroke average. Cassie knocks that off by 3 with a 77-stroke average. And when Sarah Dole talks about her, she says that she's more than a freshman. She brings more than numbers. She's a leader for this team. Ali Cruz and Erin McClure are going to leave. Cassie Mentalis is going to be the leader as a sophomore. Her and Mackie, they're really going to have to step up big for this women's program. I think Cassie has so much potential. I agree with Alexis, too.
Yep.
What I love about Alexis is that you go to any of the games on the diamond for softball, nothing gets by at third base where she plays.
Right.
The amount of chemistry between her, Rebetz, and Jones, at catcher and first, is amazing on that infield. I like Walkden a lot. I'm going to give it to Cassie. With them, it's a win-win on that.
One thing, I talked to Sarah Dole, Coach Sarah Dole, a couple weeks ago before they'd even gone out to the Big East tournament, and she had mentioned Cassie Mentalis, and one thing she said was, look out, she's going to be a huge part of this team for us next year.
Can't agree anymore.
Last award tonight, program to watch for next year.
There's a lot of good programs coming in. We got young teams, a lot of expectations. I'm going with the men's basketball team. That's what we were thinking coming into this season, but I'm thinking this upcoming year is the season that we all really were looking for. Whitehead, we just found out he got invited to the NBA MVP Steph Curry's camp out in the Bay Area. So that, I think, itself speaks for something that he still is a player.
It's pretty important, Steph Curry.
It's kind of a big deal, So it's the men's basketball team. Like we said, Angel Delgado, athlete of the year for us. Him coming back, Kadeen Carrington as well.
Yeah.
We got big team. We got a big team coming here.
When you talk about program for the men's team, I think that to me that's a coaching staff to watch. I want to see what they do different this season because obviously you can't come in with the same plan. Everything that unfolded from a 12-2 start to finishing with just 16 wins. For me, I'm going to go with baseball. You bring up Shane McCarthy in the past, with Anthony Pacillo as well, Zach Prendergast, Joe DiBenedetto, who is yet to surrender an earned run. This team, between those 4 guys, can be a good pitching rotation. Joey D, such a big arm behind a small body. He gets his control underway. He'll do fine. That's why I'm going to look out for baseball next year. They have to do something different as a coaching staff as well with Rob Shepard and co. Because something happened with the bats this year. Something happened with the shots this year. They got to change something up. The talent is there. The players are there. That's why I want to watch. I'm being paying attention on the sidelines more than I'll be paying attention on the field.
Another program to watch, women's basketball. Every year in the Tony Bozzella era, they've taken a step forward. WNITs last year, WNCAs this year. But you've got Khadidra Simmons, Dacia
Yeah.
Simmons, Chizoba Ekadikwe, and Janae Johnson, 4 seniors all leaving. It's going to be really interesting to see what Tony Bozzella can do.
I was able to interview him for WSOU the second they got back from stores and asked him, Coach, what do you look for next season? Is it consistency? And he goes, no, you want to look to make a step forward. They want to go beyond the first round of the tournament. They're going to still qualify. They want to win the Big East tournament. They want to qualify for the Big Dance, but they want to make it out of the round of 64. And you're right there. I think that shows the kind of coach he is that he's not happy. He wasn't happy when he got back on Sunday. Historic season they have. He's looking to do more with a little bit of less when he talked about all the seniority that they're losing.
He's always looking forward. Even when you lose half the team, he wants to keep pushing forward, and that's great coaching.
Speaks to him.
It should be very interesting to see. I think we got all these awards covered, guys.
I think so.
Sure. Wait.
All right, I think I forgot what I was going to say.
Yeah, how are we going to close this?
I don't know.
Mess up the whole thing? We did the whole thing, and you're going to mess up the intro?
Yeah.
What
What do we want to talk about to
I
finish
don't
it?
know.
Lauren M., what do you want to do?
Can you guys come down, please?
Can you guys come down for a sec?
No, we
Just
don't
cut
know.
it. Just cut it. We're being serious.
No, we don't know what to talk about for the end. We don't know if we want to mention. Can you guys come down, both of you?
No, come here, look.
What should we do? All right, guys. So I think the two ladies we want to thank. If you guys could step in, you're not in frame.
You're kind of
And
not
Emily,
in the frame. Here, you
step
want
in.
to? Someone come here. Someone come
You guys
here.
come here.
Come here.
You guys can go here.
So as you know, this
Over here.
is our last Hall Talk show of the year, and it's also the last Hall Talk show for these two ladies here.
Finally, Jesus Christ.
Lauren O'Connor and Emily Mastrobuoni have run this show since it started in the beginning of last year, and it's really taken off from when we started. Lauren, I remember me approaching you a couple years ago saying, I want to do a sports show. We don't have anything besides Pirate News, and you're saying, let's make a template, let's see how it goes, build a team, and we kind of built a team full of these guys over here. But it's all worked out, and none of us, I think I can speak for everyone else, it hasn't been anything less than we would have wanted. It's been amazing, this ride with you guys. We could not have done it without you, and I just personally wanted to say thank you for everything that you've been able to do, and this show is what it is because of you guys.
I remember.
I'm holding that.
I remember for you, Lauren, when I was a freshman, I went up to you. You had one of the big meetings on the green. You remembered me that I wanted to do sports. And then Emily, I just made it through this. For you guys, you pushed us so far forward. You guys yell at us all the time. We always deal with it. But this show would be nowhere near what it was. And for you too, everything you guys help us out behind the camera. I hope the real world is ready for you guys. That's for sure. Thank you so
Same
much.
here for me. We're talking about last fall. I'm just a little camera guy. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting in my TV class, and Lauren's sitting there. She says, I need to put you on camera. Throws me on a show with John Fanta. First one, right before the winter. It was just happiest moment of my life. I finally got to be on the show. It's what I wanted to do. And now you look at us. This year has exceeded expectations. You guys have been the absolute backbone.
And it won't be the same next year, that's for sure.
Put a bunch of goons together, and we did something amazing.
Well, it's all on us now to keep this show running next year. But
And
I
we
think
finally got Lauren on camera.
there you go. There you go. But I think learning from you two, it's definitely gonna take off even more. So that's it. Would you guys want to help me out with the closing?
Outro for the end of the year?
This is Hall Talk on 3.
Yeah.
Yeah?
This is
All right.
on 3.
1,
Yeah.
Yep.
2, 3.
This is Hall Talk.